Alright, welcome back to Profilmmakers. It's so nice to see you again, lovely filmmakers out there. My name is Dražan Štader. I'm a professional director cinematographer, and with today's episode we are starting our Cinematography 101 mini-series with my favorite topic of them all, lighting. I'm going to show you how to set up and execute one of the most requested lighting setups, the so-called three-point lighting. A true classic, isn't it? It will never go out of date. Or maybe sometimes. I don't think so. Without further delay, let's dive in for some cinematic goodness. But first, make sure to subscribe to our channel and scratch that notification bell as well. Alright, all checked in? Nice! Let's dive into this new cinematic episode of the Profilmmakers. Before we dive in, let me just say that I wish I had someone explaining and showing all this good stuff when I was first starting out. Back then, there was no YouTube and most of my learning was done by trial and errors. Luckily, the times have changed and we have this amazing opportunity to share and serve our like-minded fellow filmmakers. So in cinematography, there are three main light rows that you are going to use to light your subject face in a basic three-point lighting setup. These three main lights are the key light, the fill light, and the backlight, which is also sometimes known as a rim light or a hair light. Before we proceed, I would like to make a note that the backlight and the rim light are not the same. But for the purpose of today's show, we can treat the rim light and the backlight as lights coming from the same family, separating the subject from the background. That's what they do, man! They separate me from the background, and that's good. Yeah, that's good. So the key light is the main source of light hitting your subject. It's the light that you can see here lighting up my face so that I'm visible to the camera. Usually, I like to place the key light at the 3/4 angle to my face, just above the eye line in order to get this so-called Rembrandt look. Let's turn it off and then back on so you can see what our key light is doing to my face. Obviously, this is not the only way to place the key light. The key light can be placed in lots of different places to create a variety of different moods, feelings, and to ignite different emotions with the viewer. So right now, I have my key light at the 3/4 angle to my face, just above the eye line, in order to get this look, which can be recognized by this defining triangle on the left side of my face. Now, let's go to the second light, which is the fill light. The reason why we call it the fill light is because you are filling in the shadows with the light to create the contrast ratio that you want. The fill light can be usually found on the opposite side of the key light and is used to control the amount of light on the shadow side of my face. You see, as we turn down, the shadows becomes more intense, and if we turn it up, lighting on my face becomes more even. There is this simple trick I love doing when creating the perfect fill light. Currently, as you can see, I'm not using an actual light for my fill, but I use a bounce board instead. This way, I create a super soft fill light that just adds enough fill without completely destroying the beautiful shadow area on my face. This moment calls for a break. I would like you to repeat after me. Shadows are truly something beautiful, and we should all embrace the beauty of the shadows. So without cheating or skipping on this one, repeat after me. Shadows are beautiful. So now it's time to include the final third light, which is the backlight, which comes in a few different flavors. This one that you can see here hitting the side of my face is called the rim light, because it creates a nice rim light around the subject to help separate it from the background. It is important to notice that the rim light is not the same as the backlight, since it is not placed exactly behind the subject back, but tends to lean more on one side or another. These two lights are similar because they help with the separation of the subject from the background. However, they are also different, and we will discuss these fine details in one of our future episodes of the Profilmmakers. So let's go ahead and turn it off and then back on so you can see what the rim light is doing. So fellow filmmakers, those are the three main lights used in cinematography when creating the three-point lighting setup: the key light, the fill light and the backlight. For the purpose of today's show, we have also added a fourth light, the background light. This one adds a sense of depth and creates an additional layer, which is always nice to have. In case you are preparing a YouTube show or an interview shooting of your own, please consider using one of the variations that we have just explained. It is important to notice that you don't have to use all three lights in every situation, because this perfect lighting setup might look very fake in many situations. We have prepared a free downloadable PDF of our lighting diagram and we have included the link below, so feel free to check it out. Three-point lighting is one of the most basic lighting techniques, and as with most rules, it is also meant to be broken when the occasion calls for it. So it's up to you to use these three light sources in creative ways to tell your next story. There you go, pro filmmakers, a couple of my personal tips and tricks on how to create a nice looking cinematic three-point lighting setup. If you like our show, feel free to subscribe and scratch that notification bell. And if you don't like it, well, that's okay, subscribe anyway, because we can help you become a better filmmaker. Don't forget to comment below, we would love to hear your approach to the three-point light setup. This show was powered by Studio Production House, a video agency specialized in helping brands grow with the power of the online video, and Provideorentals, a video rental company providing us with the latest video tech. Make sure to stay inspired and shoot the stuff that you love. And always remember, no matter what happens on the shooting set, we're gonna ride like it's alright. Thanks for watching our show, stay creative, stay strong, and I will see you next week in the new episode of the Profilmmakers. Adios!